so long is like alchemy.
We Believe night at Oracle Arena, there wasn't a whole lot of ceremonious things. You'll see a shot of them up in their little suite, right? Jay Rich, I respect his career. Maybe not some of his off-the-court decision-making, but when he came out of Michigan State, man, we know about the two-footed jumping, but he couldn't handle, he couldn't shoot, and he ended up being, kind of a three-point specialist to go along with his athleticism as he lost that. KD's All-Star MVP. Let's get into this thing right away. And it's Bogdanovic. Sacramento plays very fast, very aggressive, and what that's going to do is open up driving opportunities and backdoor cuts. The speed and pace of the game, though, I almost couldn't take notes. I'd put my head down and make a note of a play, and I'd look up and the other team had scored. I don't have to tell you much about this young team. This is our fourth matchup with them. There's Hield, their shooter, right? And they've come out and basically guaranteed they're going to make that 8th spot. And I like the mindset. Here's the extra pass from Draymond making his debut, Boogie, against his former team. There would be some ups, there would be some downs. The game's pace didn't lend itself to Boogie. Clay, this is so difficult at that speed to finish that overhand. As usual in this matchup, turnovers were an issue, 15 of them. And part of it, I think, is the timing of the All-Star break, and then you combine that with the speed and athleticism of the Sacramento team, and I think I found myself more frustrated with the turnovers because of a lot of the passes that they were trying to complete. As you see, Boogie just can't hang with their speed of their big men here, but a lot of the passes they were trying to complete, they were just never there. Bogdanovic is too small for KD, who opened up the game really in kill mode. You'd think Barnes would match up on him. And then let's be honest here, Steph, he does so many things well, but transition finishing is where, he's lacking because he's not going to finish above the rim. He knows how fast Sacramento is. We saw a couple of botched transition plays. There's Boogie doing what he does, moving and taking the charge. Talking with somebody about the fit and the chemistry of this core three, I'll say, is Draymond, he can only get away with passing up that layup to a handful of shooters in the league, right? That's only a good play when you're passing to Steph, Clay, KD, a Paul George, maybe a Dame Lillard. Only the elite three-point shooters in the league is that acceptable, and Draymond just the perfect fit for him. There's Don Nelson with the ponytail. I wonder what Stack Jack's sipping on. Like I said, they didn't really, it was We Believe night. I didn't really see a whole lot of them, but whatever, the game was entertaining. There's Steph with two hands, as I'm talking shit about him finishing at the rim. It's more so in transition. In the half court where he can slow down and read the weak side defense, he's pretty adept, right? De'Aaron Fox right back in your face and one. Take another look at it. Steph with the celebration. It's good to see him plant confidently off those Curry sixes, but the celebration a bit much, man. He's celebrating. Meanwhile, De'Aaron Fox is zooming down the court for an and one. Barnes, remember their newest acquisition at the deadline for Shumpert and Justin Jackson. He wants to play well against the Warriors. He'll never admit it, but I think he's a little extra against his team and against KD in that matchup. Here's the number 2 pick in the draft, Bagley. Now, they were talking about KD got like 7 or 8 blocks, and I can understand those rips right there. Yeah, you could call them a steal. Now, watch KD look at the stat line. He's looking at the stats. He's like, wait, how many blocks do I got? But just lets you know that he really pays attention to the stats during the game. But those rips, the guy's going into his shooting motion, so it is kind of a gray area, whether that's a steal or a block. Steph could not miss from outside and really kept us in the game. Backdoor lob. As you can see, I'm kind of behind the commentary. That's how fast-paced this first quarter was. KD, may I have this dance? Corey Brewer, fresh off the waiver wire, splashes in his face. But honestly, I was surprised. I thought Philly would hold on to him. He's got the green light here in Sacramento. I've seen him play games where he won't shoot the ball, but he took 3 or 4 threes in this game, and I think he's a nice pickup for them. There's Bagley. You combined his length and vertical with how quickly he gets off the ground and then his aggression, and he's just a problem matchup already at 19. And Clay getting Boogie's first field goal of the game, you could tell he was kind of itching to get a basket. He'd had a couple free throws. More Bagley. Now the drop step and hook on Iguodala, right? He's got the juice, and that's what you noticed at Duke, right? The confidence to go along with the physical attributes. But to start this second quarter, it was Sacramento's second unit with Bogdanovic hitting the 3, and they mix and match. Yager does that well. I don't like Quinn Cook's vision here. The swing is over to McKinney. He penetrates and gets Clay a contested 3. And I've just noticed Quinn, he doesn't make the passes. He doesn't see what I see on the floor. Like this decision here, I'm not making that pass either. And that's subjective. I'm just saying I think he's lacking kind of when he's orchestrating the offense as far as what he sees on the floor. There's one of those passes that was just never there, right? It's just a disappointing turnover. I'd love to find a stat of what guys shoot from assisted passes from certain guys, because it feels like Draymond doesn't want to let Boogie down. Like, I got you, Boogie. Let me hit this three for you. More Marvin Bagley III. Look at him get up. He's not only getting up quicker, he's getting up higher. The and one with some animosity. And looking ahead to this possible playoff matchup, we don't have an answer for Bagley. I don't think many teams do, but we don't have an athletic big to put in front of him. Now he is off the transition turnover. Was that a travel? I don't know. What's a gather anyway? More turnovers. And this is without a doubt, I think Draymond said this is the fastest team he's ever played against. And you saw it take place in this game. KD to chase down block. And you love it when he comes out and he's locked in defensively like this, but it also makes you wonder why he doesn't do it more often. His turn for the turnover. A trap, a hand on the ball. It looked like Barnes got a tip on that, but it was the speed, the timing, and then an overall lackadaisicalness of the possession. But this man bailed us out as he continued to splash from behind the arc in this first half. More Bagley, rip down. See, you could call that a block technically, right? Because he's in his shooting motion. That's what I mean when they gave him blocks instead of steals. What do y'all think? Despite getting kind of loose with the ball, you liked the energy. They seemed engaged. The body language, the intensity overall of the game was fine. And so that's why I never felt like they were going to just let Sacramento run away or blow this thing open. There was a 10-0 run here closing the half with that championship DNA. For the most part, I think that they stuck to the game plan by running Sacramento off the three-point line. Here's a defensive sequence of rotations, helping the help and closeouts. Right? They got a second possession and they played defense for over 24 seconds, right? So we saw spurts of elite defense, but there were some brain farts, in particular KD kind of sagging off and giving up transition threes as we've seen so many times. Steph trying to pop the lid off Oracle here early. And then this is just simple familiarity. Iguodala knows exactly where Clay is, rips him the ball. And he started off fine. He hit a couple threes, but then he went absolutely ice cold. Then winding down the half, the extra pass, and Iguodala is finishing above the rim every night, y'all. Here we go, second half. Now, I'm going to hold it right here. You see how the arm's extended? That's a foul. That's an offensive foul. You can shoulder charge, but you can't extend the arm. KD goes flying, despite it being maybe a bit of a flop. But I think Kerr is very smart, and I think Kerr uses these opportunities to show Durant, like, hey, I'm going to go to battle for you. And so he'll get over demonstrative, in particular for Draymond and KD, when they don't get a call so they don't do it, right? And it also shows them that he's in their corner. Here's another pass that was never really there out of the timeout. And I feel like they kind of don't give Steph as many turnovers as he deserves sometimes. I think they kind of put it on the other player. You know, it's a home stat sheet. But watch Boogie here get beat down the floor just terribly by Cauley Stein. There's nothing you can do about it. Bigs that can run the floor are just going to give him trouble. Now watch him. He doesn't come and help KD. Bogdanovic has a nasty hezzy, right? He has a good change of pace like a lot of Europeans do. Watch KD scolds DeMarcus. He's like, come on, man. You're either going to help or you're not going to help, right? And this is something I've noticed now on several occasions. Despite DeMarcus being so emotional, he responds well to criticism from his teammates. And maybe it depends on who it is, but there he is with the pass out of the double team, gets Steph the three. But look at him run here. He's not going to let Cauley Stein beat him down the court again, so he hustles back and protects the rim. And then you're going to see the flip out, and then he bangs the three down. So for whatever reason, because you wouldn't necessarily think that being such an emotional guy, but when I've seen Draymond or KD kind of bark at him, he elevates his play, and that's a good trade. That's a crazy handle from a 7-footer. Dude putting it on the floor like he Kyrie getting to the cup. Now it's Draymond's turn. Again, what's the theme of these turnovers? The pass was never really there. That's a crazy catch from Clay. He dropped it in his basket, but that's just not, I just don't agree with ever trying to make that pass. And then you're going to see DeMarcus with the extracurricular coming down, and then he keeps the hand. That's a sly move when you know you hammer somebody and you just keep the hand extended like, here, let me help you up. No. I think he deserved the flagrant for this one because the follow-through just wasn't necessary, right? Clipped him in the head. Let's just call a spade a spade. The home telecast tried to sell us and say that he didn't mean to. Nah, he meant to. Here's another positive, though. Watch him on balance here. I talked about him coming back from the break and maybe getting his legs under him a little more, and I didn't finish that, but he was much more on balance on some of his rumbles to the rim than we saw in his first 10 or 12 games. De'Aaron Fox, speed demon, and one. Iguodala, there was a couple plays where Ig showed his age, right? Against this fast team, you saw him kind of just get stuck to the floor a couple times. Then I got a kick out of this. They say timing is everything. Look at Bagley just over-jumped Looney. Bagley so quick off the ground, he jumped too soon. Looney sailed on by for the dunk. And then, like I said, Clay just became ice cold. And he didn't force things, but whenever he had open looks, he just couldn't seem to knock them down. Here's a different wrinkle to head knock. Because Looney's on the floor and Sacramento's so fast and aggressive, they're going to set a double screen for Steph. Looney initiates the pass. KD catches deeper in the corner. It allows Steph to run off 2 possible screens and eliminates the lack of spacing that Looney brings to being on the floor.
Looney set that screen. 2 guys jumping. Curry got a 3 anyway.
And then how about this lengthy lob to Iguodala? And Steph's just fearless because he's had some sloppy turnovers in this game, but he remains aggressive and fearless, takes the high-risk reward pass to Andre to get Oracle on their feet. This matchup definitely didn't lend itself to Jerebko, but I'm a bit worried about his legs down the stretch. I know he got the time off, but his three-point shooting is starting to dip. Watch Iguodala pull a D Wade. Remember when Wade did this to KD on a fadeaway late in the game about a week ago? And then Quinn misses Iguodala initially, but he finds a trailer. KD hesitation and baptizes Bagley at the rim. Slim was in kill mode all night. And here I'm talking about Jerebko's legs. Look at him get up for the block, but it doesn't necessarily show on those load-up plays. It's more on shooting. And then Durant with the silencer to end the quarter. There's something about his non-celebration celebrations, right? Where it's almost like this is my destiny. All I'm doing is fulfilling it. Whenever it's close late, this second unit, the start for the fourth quarter with this second unit is always intriguing. Here's an awkward give and go. Watch Boogie with a loaf in his pants on his way back. Iguodala's IQ off the charts. He knows where that's going. He baited him into the pass, then uses the length. But you should know, Corey Brewer looks like somebody that's run for his life on several occasions. Like, you knew he was going to chase him down, so I was just glad he didn't come up gimpy after that. DeMarcus, I thought he gave us good minutes here, and another example of him just stronger and more on balance headed downhill. He's not going to ever elevate crazy. There was Iguodala gambling and selling out a la D-Wade again. This time, though, Corey Brewer makes him pay. Now, there's a lot of special circumstances within this season for DeMarcus, right? This isn't a normal season for him, but I think we got to credit him for the amount of restraint he has shown, at least this year. Is he going to do it moving forward on his next team? Maybe not, but Draymond, I got you. 3 of 5 from Draymond. I have another theory. I think because of the athleticism and speed of Sacramento, Draymond was more decisive shooting the 3. He was like, I ain't driving against these fools, right? Bagley, why not? Again, the kid's got the juice. He believes. And then Steph was definitely starting to feel like a splash god. The chef was on full display, and we needed every bit of it. Take a look at the score. But being who he is, he's going to make the basketball play, and he's going to make sure his splash brother gets a look. Can't knock it down. KD's like, here, Clay, go ahead, get one. Can't knock it down, but you always get the feeling he's going to be there when you need him. Here's ISO. HB secretly has a shrine of KD in his closet. He's like, I hate him. KD gets the roll. Defensive end, follow the game plan. Run, particularly Bogdanovic and Hield off the three-point line. They did a great job of that considering the previous 3 matchups. The rub screen, pick your poison. Barnes may not have great hips for a first step, but he's got the strength and the fundamentals. Answers on that end. And then Steph shows up with 2 suitcases, both with fancy handles. Step back, got him. Sacramento would not fold, though. KD, what are you doing? What are you doing? Your length can't make up for everything. Pause. And then it's you-know-who bailing us out again. Fox with the roof. Clay hadn't hit a shot all half. Why not? Rattles it in, wills it in with the body language. He knows it. And unfortunately, this is an ongoing problem now because Draymond has been picking up technicals late in games and giving teams points that we can't afford to give them. If you take another look at this call's not as egregious of a call as Draymond makes it out to be. Watch him wrap his left arm and not let it get back to the ball, right? So a foul's a foul. It is what it is. You could call it or not, but either way, he's giving them an extra point in a 2-possession game with less than a minute to go. Saves the pass here. Guess who? Watch the lean, the body language, wills it in. Infinite belief in his shooting. Klay Thompson with another big shot. Buddy Hield comes down, pulls the trigger. We've kept him off the 3-point line all night. And here's what Yager needs to chill out. There's rumors that his team doesn't really like him. It's because of shit like this. Buddy Hield broke off the play and pulled up. And if he's going to come at him about it, now's not the time. Hield comes back down. It's Fox. Take that back. He finds Hield again in the quarter, and he answers with the 3. All of a sudden, Sacramento's right back in this game. The inbounds, the bobble, The vet gets a hold of it, but the problem is he's about the last guy we want at the line at this point, and sure enough, he misses both free throws. Sacramento, one last chance to tie or take the lead, and I was extremely worried about Bagley rolling to the rim, and I should have been. You see him butt naked at the basket, but instead Hield all of a sudden gets gun shy, takes a much more difficult shot than the initial look he had, and then once again, we escape the wrath of this young Kings team. Now, they could have that 8th seed, and this could be a very interesting and, more importantly, taxing, energy-draining first-round matchup that we may not want to have. I'll be back with the live pregame for Houston Saturday night. I'm out, y'all.
I've been winning so long, it's like